I can sort of see a reason here to not have the bolts is that I don't have enough sticks. This recipe here. I am out of bolts. Give me all of the bolts. All of the bolts. By the way, I did notice that there was a change that was made to the production of small parts. Small parts have changed. Like, for some reason. They now are a significantly faster recipe than they used to be. They are significantly different on their speed. So small parts. One assembling machine makes 7.5 per second. That didn't used to be the case. Did I what now? Upgrade what? No, I have not done the updates to the Pi suite that are currently live yet. I don't close the game during the break. So yeah, this is significantly faster than what it used to be. This used to be this was one. Oh, and the bolts changed, by the way, I'm pretty sure. Because it used to be 1 into 1. I'm pretty sure this used to be 3 sticks into 3 bolts, and that this was 3 bolts into 3 small parts. Or something like that in terms of the actual ratio. It used to be one stick to 1 bolt, 1 bolt to 1 small parts. All right, it was this. Okay, it was this. So it's 1 bolt to 1 small parts, 1 stick to 1 bolt, half a stick into the small parts, and 1 gear into 1 small part. So it's 1 gear, 1 half bolt, or 1 half stick, 1 bolt, 1 stick to 1 bolt. And it meant that this build was perfect ratio. But now it is thrown completely out the window now that the speeds have changed. So now it's still a 1-to-1 here, but because the sticks and the gears are different, it's now like 2 gears. Significantly more. 3.75. So, you know, between 2 and 3 gears, it's not even perfect anymore to get into here. And it's 3.75, so slightly more than 1 on the sticks into this. There's no, like, easy perfect ratio thing that is going to give you direct insertion like my beautiful build. So congratulations, my build is dead. Well, it still functions just fine. I'm pretty sure that the output should still be the same overall, because I don't think the actual ratios have changed. It's just that it was a perfect ratio for the particular recipe speed, the way it was, but now it's faster. I think it used to be like 1 per second on the assembling machine 1 on the output per building, something like that, but now it's like way higher now. Alright, after all that, there was something I was going to look at up here that I've completely forgotten about at this point. What was I speaking about and looking at and trying to do? It was I'm gonna look at my phosphate to see how much phosphate I have. Where did I place that phosphate factory? Where did I put that glassworks? I have forgotten. Where did that phosphate glassworks go? Here. Which is there, up and to the right. It's moving. Which I guess is better than not moving. Here, have a better inserter so that you can constantly move. That sounds like a great idea. Yeah, fantastic idea. And it's consuming everything. A whole 0.5 phosphate glass at the cost of six oxides for a half a plate. A half a glass. And 2.5 rocks. For a half of glass. Shall I look at circuit 3s again, because circuit 3s use phosphate glass. How much phosphate glass am I going to need for this? 1.16? No, 2. 2 phosphate glass per second. That's going to be 24 iron oxide. And 9.96 phosphate rock. Just, you know, wow. So maybe that's another thing where those numbers are a little high, maybe? On 3 circuit 3s per second? That's a bit much. But yeah, not as bad as the other thing was with the myoglobin. So yeah, I'm obviously not going to be getting around to actually building out the actual Arthurian egg build today, or the brains build, both of which I want to do. I also have on the agenda more zinc. Big all caps, more zinc. And I think that's probably going to be on the top of my list for the moment, because more zinc is quite important. Quite important. And I have actually planned the more zinc. For the exception that right now it is set at 15 zinc in, and that's going to need to change. How do I have this? Ingredient input. Yeah, that is going to be changing to 150. Absolutely. And this is, by the way, my planning of this high grade is how I found out that doing the iron stick casting from molten is not worth making iron sticks from plates now that I have productivity modules, because it is a 10% difference doing molten versus doing plates to get iron sticks. 10%. If you have productivity modules giving you exactly 10%, it's the same just by doing plates directly into sticks. And if you have more than 10%, aka you have a Mark II factory with my settings, granted, under normal circumstances it sort of stays the same, but if you have more than 10% difference from productivity, the plates to sticks are better than the molten to sticks. So, yeah, that's what I have mathed out, just to reiterate. I mentioned that earlier. So this is high-grade processing of zinc. We can see that this will give 198 zinc for 150 ore in. At the moment, I have 15 ore in, so this is a factor of 10 plus high grade. So what process am I doing now? I'm going up to powdered zinc right now, and then I am casting my zinc with hot air processing from powdered. Not doing molten. Which I am assuming is probably going to be broken with the new updates to hot air, frankly. Because hot air stuff got overhauled just live now, and I don't know if they touched this particular recipe that is the powdered zinc plus hot air into zinc plates. So suffice it to say, I have about 9 something, slightly above 9 plates of zinc per second being produced through the current process. This is gonna like be a lot more. This is gonna be a lot more. The issue is with this. Well, we need these. Of course, the way I had this set up with the ingredient input, it's not actually going to tell me in Hellmod exactly how much I need. I would need to, like, I think I have to have a separate block for that. Be like, hey, give me iron sticks as soon as you load. Please load. Please load. By the way, Hellmod literally crashed my game. Crashed my PC the other day. I kid ye not. Hellmod froze. Just froze the game in such a way that it was still simulating somehow. It was still moving, but like Windows died on me. It killed Windows, and I couldn't like do anything with Windows. I couldn't close the game. I couldn't open a menu. Like the keyboard wasn't functional in the game. It was weird, really weird. While it had tried to do the loading of the recipe selector thing. There we go. That's what I wanted. Hold Control and click to fill the slots, by the way. That's a new feature. 37.5 iron plates to do 198. Yes, I think it was a memory thing. A memory issue. And then Windows just slowly but surely completely died. To the point where even Task Manager was straight up dead. Task Manager was straight up dead. You got an error. I'm not actually dropping frames. You got an error 200? Well, I'm still streaming, and I have no drop frames, and it's fine for me. Error 2, like, do a search for what causes those errors. It might have to do with using a certain browser, for example. So the outside inputs are going to be the biggest problem with considering high-grade processing. In particular, in here, it's going to be the Aerofloat, 20 Aerofloat with the cryolic acid. Excuse me, but what? Oh, right, ingredient input. This needs to be a separate block. So I need that. Ideally, it'll give me... It won't link the cryolic, sadly. Or the cryolic acid. What I can do, though, is make the cryolic a separate block. There it goes. Now it's telling me the full amount of cryolic that I'll need. I'm not worried about the cryolic so much. I am worried about my production of Nextlet. It's not that great right now for the Nextlet, but yeah, this Penta Sulfide crap is the other ever so slight issue. I need the matrix solver on for this because you bring in the sulfur and phosphate rocks to do this first step, and that will give you an output of extra pyrite that you can then use for this, and then end up with some excess iron ore in this process, which I don't know. There's other ways of using this iron ore to actually make the pyrite again, I think. But yeah, you can... Several methods of looping all of this. And aromatics I can just ignore for now. I don't really care about the aromatics. This also needs to be a Mark II building, thanks. This does absolutely take some productivity. Let us not forget the modules. That is going to be the bane by the way, of my existence is just remembering modules. Just remembering all of the modules. Kerosene is heavy oil, basically, so I'm not particularly worried about kerosene. I will add it, though. Several recipes for kerosene, but the one in particular that I'm looking for that might actually be valuable at some point, but nah, is that one. There is 150 out of low distillates, though, that I might consider. That is a lot of heavy oil. If I really want to throw titanium tetrachloride at it, that might be better. Because overall, that's a lot less crude. It's actually about the same, okay? So, about the same, because crude into heavy is approximately 1-to-1. So if that's 800 crude versus the, oh, that's going to tell me what uses the kerosene rather than what makes it. Yeah, yeah, so steam cracking, and if you do the steam out of the heavy oil, because I think this is lossy. Yes, you lose, I think, a little bit of fuel value out of this, right? 800 into 1.5. Pretty sure you lose a little bit. This steam in an oil burner out of heavy oil would give me the true value of 811 crude oil, and that's kerosene. That's the kerosene. Let's actually put proper buildings with modules for this. This is done in olefin plants. This one's done in the multi-purpose crackers. Give it some speed. And oil burners are what they are. More than one pipe's throughput here. So, yay, stuff. Savings, even, for a build this big. What is another thing? Creosote. Creosote needs to be added. And I'm planning this out right now. I want to finish planning this out before we end, and I want to ideally build this off screen, because this is what I consider scaling of stuff. So I want to try to get around to working on some of this build off screen, at the very least, the like main part of the build, and we can do the outside inputs together. Just because I've done this in previous playthroughs, I have a tutorial video on how to do the high grade processing of stuff, / all the way up to utility science. So I've already covered what you need for the various pyro chains. What else? Grease. Grease is here. Just going through all these outside inputs. Grease has a few methods. More low distillates. That, I think, might be preferable over that much Nextlet. Actually, yes. This is going to be my preferred method on grease. Just because, yeah, I already have a lube factory, and this is going to be just one building, so I don't even need speed here. This was 2, it's now 1 because of the speed modules. So there's the grease. Simple. Means that I have to bring in tin chromium alloy, but I'm fine with that. What else is an outside input? We have soda ash, regeneration solution, and we have filtration media that I can just bring in. Borax, more heavy oil. That should be fine. I should have heavy oil as a separate block and remove it from the thingy. Yeah, heavy oil will be a completely separate block with this as part of it. Where's the heavy oil? There we go. Matrix solver, go back to here and remove those so that way... Excuse me? Excuse me? But what? No. Hem. Weird. Heavy oil. Give me... Not the nextlet. Not the nextlet. That's not the one. That's the one. That is the one. Right there. Steam crack. Use heavy oil, please. To show me the actual values with the matrix. Screw you, Helmont. Just straight up. Screw Helmont. Just... It... I try to tell it to do what I want, and it refuses. It always refuses. Alright, it has it now. Hey, it has it now. Hello. It's fine. It just needed to start with the matrix solver on. It just needed to start with the solver on. Okay. Sure. Fine. Be that way. This will use 750 of this production. And this will use the rest of it here. As I'm about to, like, attempt to end. I will ignore the sand castings, I will ignore the thing. The last thing to do would be the soda ash regen solution, which is tailings. Soda ash. It's ash and saline. So it's... I'm probably just gonna just straight up do the salt input. Ash. God, that's a lot of ash. Where's my direct ash production facilities? There we go. We can make ash out of bones. We can make ash out of bones. No, we will make ash out of doing the more syngas recipe, as well as the coal gas. If I can find the coal gas, there we go. Matrix solver is not on, so if I put it on, yeah, that's a bit much. I'm looking and seeing that this is actually what I need for 45. Yes, and I can filter the flue gas. That's the other thing I need to add into the mix. And that gives me a much better overall thing. No product... Oh god, what? Did I change that? I did not change that, did I? This, I think, was very specifically... Alright, it's this one that was very specifically removed. Okay. So it's the... So the coal gas production can use productivity. The syngas one that gives back tar cannot, because there was a problem with a infinite tar loop. Yeah, there was an infinite tar loop. Speaking of which, this is a tar loop. No, I need the tar to be ignored. I need the tar to be completely ignored. There should be a way of adding tar, and that ignores the tar, and that gives me the proper values. Tar to coal gas has no product in it by default, so that means that I must have added that particular recipe. I should look at that recipe in the recipe selector. Coal gas. Here. It has not been modified by my mod. Coal processing pyro ores multi-product recipe details. It does not show that it has been modified, so by productive pyanodons. So this does take productivity. This one does take productivity. Somehow. This one doesn't, though. This one can take speed. I can adjust it either way. It's not that much of a savings, but yeah. This tells me true and valid values. I can do speed there, speed there, and of course, productivity there. Yeah, it might be Bob's modules, I don't know. But yeah, there's the soda ash regen solution. That doesn't need a speed module, can't take productivity. That doesn't do productivity, that's all good. And I think that's all of the outside inputs covered. All the major outside inputs covered. Minus sodium hydroxide, minus lime. I will do lime on site, so that's another block for lime. That is another block. Lime does take productivity, as does limestone from water, but there's no point. That one's actually better to use the speed. But yeah, I mean, I can just, like, if it's not, I can just remove the stuff here, that's fine, and just replace it with these. It doesn't matter, it's just changing the amount of tar input, which, I mean, infinite tar. Oh, hey, this broke again. Oh, hey, that broke again. Why? I don't know. It broke again. Heavy oil. It's not telling me. It's just not telling me. Well, anyway, I can just do a separate thing and have it do it. Yes, Helmod is absolutely lovely at times. Absolutely lovely at times. So, yeah, this is a lot of stuff, a lot of buildings. If I actually look at the building counts here without modules, of course I will. All of this is going to be speed modules. All of this can only accept speed modules. You can't do productivity in any of this. It's all It's all speed just to reduce building counts by a bit. Wow, that's a lot of stuff there. That's a lot. That's a few. That's a few buildings. Yeah, those are going to take some speed. Those need speed to help cut down on their numbers of buildings. But otherwise, it looks fair. Let's consider that we have 150 making 198. Yes, there are building counts in Helmod. In fact, there's a building information thing right here that you can hover over that shows you all of the current building information. How do I insert the maximum numbers of modules at once? Hold Control. That is a new feature in Helmod. It is a brand new feature in Helmod that you can hold Control to and click on the module to fill all of the module slots at once. There's some other issues apparently with Helmod right now, as of the most recent release. Yeah, this is pretty fair, honestly, on these outside inputs. It will take a really long time to actually do this, but I need the zinc. I actually need that much zinc. Like, I'm not kidding. I need at least that much zinc. In fact, I probably need even more zinc. I'm sure Immortal will tell me how much zinc I need on my build. Cough, cough. At some point. But yeah, I'm pretty sure 198 is a pretty good starting point. For how much I will eventually need. This is a lot. Yeah, it's 5 yellow belts of input. By the way, just like an FYI, this syngas is also going to be used in the mining of the zinc. So there's a good reason to have a little thing making the syngas, because 5 yellow belts. Where is zinc? So zinc is here. Zinc uses 4 syngas per mining operation. You know, just casually. So zinc is 4 per cycle, which means that if we're doing 150 per second of stuff, we need 4 times that. So we need 600. 600 of this syngas will go into the actual mining operation, which is going to use literal hundreds of our very, very, very poorly designed new mining drills. Our very phallic mining drills, as they currently exist. Yeah, the silver zinc alloy, that's another one. That's going to be a big, huge, ginormous consumer of zinc and silver. That's going to be required for silver foam in particular, as well as superconductors. But the big use of the silver zinc alloy is in the form of silver foam. Granted, the main thing that the silver foam is used for, I guess now it's going to be used for space suits for the stupid space Stingray program. Biopolymer is the big one. This is the base game original recipe for biopolymer. It was 5 silver foam. 5 silver foam. There is now a recipe version that uses a sporopollenin that gives you a required 1 silver foam for 5. 5 into 7 is a lot worse than 1 into 5, and like, I really don't care how evil this recipe is outside of the silver foam. It is worth it. It is worth how evil the rest of this might be for the fish oil, the phenol gas bacteria, which is the same in both, by the way, and the urea. It is by far and away worth that urea requirement. Worth spending the urea, and it's the same in both anyway. And of course, you remove collagen for spiropollenin, so really, it's diesel replaced with fish oil and collagen replaced with spiropollenin and less silver. Space stuff has changed now. Yes, I do believe so. So it's yeah, it's going to be different to give us the glorious, beautiful space dingret, which will be required for completing the game. Yeah. Anyway, it's now 18 past the hour. We have gone significantly over time just to do planning for this high-grade zinc, of all things. Spent half the stream just making plans, but that's how this works, right? We make plans for an extended period of time, then spend another extended period of time actually executing on said plans, and then we spend more time making plans. And that is how it goes. The cycle continues. So what did we get done today? Finished the bone factory. That is the primary thing. Finished the bone factory. Went over some off-screen changes in that I now have a far more sufficient supply of modules in my life, as in I have more than 0 modules in my life happening, which means I have more than 0 gold happening, and boron happening for all of that. So, huzzah! It has happened, because I got impatient and wanted to have it as soon as possible. Substrates, improved and quality fungal substrates now exist. They are happening. They are moving. Production is fantastic, for the exception that it appears that I am completely out of raw fiber. Thank you so much, game. I am in need of additional raw fiber. Scaling. What? Oh. I apparently need another train. For the raw fiber. That is my raw fiber bottleneck right now. It's just the train's throughput. The throughput of the actual train itself. Alright. There'll probably be a few examples of those right now. But anyway, with that, folks, I would like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat. If you're watching the VODs on YouTube, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you are so inclined, head on over to twitch.tv/OtakuShowboat to leave a follow to be notified when I go live Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to approximately 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. You can do all of the social stuff through the links below the video, including supporting Pyandon's mods development at patreon.com/Pyandon and myself at patreon.com/OtakuShowboat. I will, of course, be back on Tuesday, where I will be moving on with Zinc. Most likely, still. I don't think I'll be able to complete this Zinc build off-screen. I will be working on this Zinc build off-screen. We will continue working on it going into the next stream, if I'm not done yet. Otherwise, it is planning out and doing the Arthurian eggs and maybe brains. We shall see. Fastwood Forestry says 30-second crafting time, but takes 5 minutes. You need to have trees to put into the Fastwood Forestry. You need to mine some trees. You need some trees as modules to make them move. Welcome to Pi Alien Life. You need the modules in order for the machines to function. Congratulations. You can... There should be recipes to make the trees. And you should be able to get tree seeds from trees. So, chop trees, get tree seeds, use a botanical nursery to grow the seeds into a tree. And you can use that as your first modules, and then as you get the stuff again, you should be able to convert wood into seeds. Or something into seeds, I forget. You can tree seeds. Tree seeds. You get the tree only from the forestry, right? So the forestry will have a recipe to give you a tree. Yeah. Tree. Tree. Tree from seedlings. Seedlings from seeds and moss. Tree from seedlings. Seedlings from tree and moss. So you need to make the trees. So yeah, just make the trees. The forestry should move with the initial trees. You have to wait until you get trees for it to have the modules to go faster. So it's a really slow process. That's how this one works. It's a really slow process to get the trees, your first tree out of the fast food forestry by giving it the seedlings. But once you have a tree, you put the tree back into the machine, which makes the machine go a little bit faster, and then a little bit faster, and then a little bit faster, and a little bit faster until you fill the machine up with trees. Keep making more trees to use for additional buildings after that, and eventually store up a whole bunch of trees and switch over to the actual production of the logs to make your wood. But anyway, with that, again, thank you all for watching. I will see you all on the next one.